this whole approach, my whole understanding of the role of DMT, and I do believe that this research is nothing less than messianic. It is part of a ancient prophecy. Let me read to you the prophecy. This is coming from the book of the Zohar, which was first revealed in the 13th century. And in one of the sections, it states, in the 6th century of the 6th millennium, that is in the years 5,500 to 5,600 in the Hebrew calendar, which would correspond to the years 1740 to 1840 in the Christian calendar, the gates of wisdom from above and the fountains of wisdom from below will be opened up, and the world will make preparations to enter the 7th millennium, just as one makes preparations on the 6th day of the week when the sun is about to set for the advent of the 7th day, the Shabbat. This passage has been expounded by Kabbalist and Hasidic masters. The wisdom from above is referring to the teachings of the Kabbalah. The fountains of wisdom from below is referring to science and technology. In other words, beginning primarily from the year 1840, which was what? The Industrial Revolution, and it's been history since then. We know that science and technology has been accelerating at a pace that virtually nobody can keep up with. And according to traditional Judaism, this is part of the prophetic grand plan for reality. In other words, science and technology, from a traditional religious perspective, is not an extra. It's certainly not an evil to be tolerated. It's not a luxury. It is part of the process by which humanity is going to evolve into its next stage. And the relationship is this, is that science and technology provides maps, models, and metaphors to understand and perceive the light of the Torah, of the Kabbalah, in ways that we normally would not be able to understand. However, the master mystics and sages throughout the ages, they always understood. But unless one has 10, 20, 30 years of training, that's virtually going to be impossible. So what about the rest of us? Well, the Holy One, in his compassion, had mercy upon us, as it were, and has bestowed upon us the maps, models, and metaphors of science and technology. Now, I have been utilizing some of these maps and models for decades in my teaching, in particular, for example, something as simple as the Mobius strip, which teaches us a principle of one surface with two sides, which is referring to is a model to understand God's unity, how there can be nothing here but God, yet there's something else here as well. Yet they make up one indivisible unity. Likewise, the concept of higher and lower dimensionality, as epitomized in the classic work called Flatland by Edwin Abbott over 100 years ago. This enables us to understand what the sages always understood, that we are embedded in a parallel reality here, a parallel dimension, the fourth direction, the fourth dimension. Fractal geometry, which is just coming of age recently, has been the bedrock of the Jewish mind and the rabbinical understanding. And so I believe that the research revolving around DMT and the pineal gland is another example of a model that's coming forth from the well springs from below, referring to the science and technology, to enable us to understand that which has been hidden away in Jewish classical literature, waiting for its time to come out. But we would not see it, ironically, without the utilization of these maps and these models. And in particular here, the relationship between the pineal gland and Peniel, the face of God, and DMT and MTT is, although this cannot be taken as that's not the hardcore evidence that we're basing this upon, but we value, for example, dreams that we have, even though dreams are taking place in a whole other reality. We utilize that information, we attempt to integrate it, and likewise with the similarities in the even the sound of these words. From a Kabbalistic perspective, this is how the divine mind is helping to prepare and seed mankind for the next jump in global evolution.